Namaste everyone, Toby Alexander from DNA Perfection here. Here are 10 symptoms that show you have auric attachments and may need auric clearing. In order to understand what auric attachments are, you first require to understand about your subtle body anatomy. In addition to your physical body, you have an energetic body. And within this energetic body, you have subtle energy centers called chakras. You actually have 7 embodied chakras, and you have 8 what are called morphogenetic chakras, chakras that exist above your head and below your feet. In the auric clearing, what we do is clear all auric attachments from the 7 embodied chakras. These are the auric attachments that affect a person's experience of life the most. So the first symptom that you may have an auric attachment and require an auric clearing is that you're frequently irritated, agitated, angry, or have rage. The first thing to understand is an auric attachment called a discarnate. Discarnates are beings that have died but haven't gone through the tunnel and are stuck on the astral level, the 4th dimension, usually haunting people from there and attaching to people's auric fields. They attach to people who emotionally energize low-frequency emotions like anger or rage, because that is how they get their energy. They use people here that have a body and their discordant emotions for their food, and often keep them in this low-frequency state by pulsing thoughts into their psyche that provoke anger, rage, depression, regret, guilt, and other low-frequency emotions. The second symptom is you have low energy, lack of energy, feel lazy, or mostly sedentary. Portals are energetic openings in a person's auric field that allow your natural life force currents and energy to escape, leaving you without energy. They're like slits in your auric field. Portals also allow other people's discordant energies into your field, and this affects your energy, your emotional state, and ultimately your health in a negative way. People that have been diagnosed with chronic fatigue typically have multiple portals that require to be closed, or a full body portal where they're losing life force energy as soon as it comes down through their crown chakra. The third symptom that you may have an auric attachment is that you can't focus on one thing for more than 5 minutes without getting distracted. Occupants are thought forms in the chakras, the body's energy centers, that think they own the body. An example of a thought form would be, I need money. After emotionally energizing this thought so much, it becomes a thought form and acts like it has a mind of its own. Whenever you use the word need, you're basically implying fear. Because if you don't get what you need, then something bad usually happens. So what this does is it creates a frequency in your chakras that will attract you to the exact same frequency of people, places, times, things, and events that will confirm for you that you do indeed need money. Occupants in the head affect one's ability to focus and can affect your ability to follow through on your goals, to be able to study, concentrate, and use your intellectual abilities to your potential. The fourth symptom is you're fearful, you're constantly worrying about the future, or you're not present in the now. Discarnate's entire goal is to keep humanity in fear and in the matrix. Fear attracts discarnates, and once they're attached to your field, they keep you in fear, by pulsing low-frequency thoughts into your psyche. Discarnates also cause panic attack syndrome and can cause you to react to things that do not pose any threat whatsoever. In order to clear this, the discarnates must be sent away permanently, and the identities cleared regarding all past fearful analogical experiences, so that you don't attract more when the original event becomes triggered. The fifth symptom is you have lots of inner conflict and voices in your head. If you feel like something or someone is holding you back or sabotaging your success, this is a clue that you have some type of auric attachment. Multiple personalities are simply multiple discarnates in a person's field that become activated at different times. The essence of a person strives toward progress, yet the discarnates are always trying to keep a person down and staying the same, and that is how they get their energy, by keeping them stuck in victimization, sadness, regret, and guilt. The sixth symptom is you're taking drugs, alcohol, or smoking cigarettes. If you are doing things that you know are not good for you, but you can't stop, then you have auric attachments. This is what happens with drug addicts and alcoholics. The first time that you do a drug, you lower your natural energy protection field. And what happens is you attract discarnates into your field that previously were drug addicts, but now don't have a body. So they attach to a person who does have a body, and they use that person to get their fix. Any addiction is originally caused by the person's natural energy protection being lowered, and an infiltration into the person's field occurs. Until the discarnate, occupants, or thought forms are cleared, quitting these substances will not be permanent, as these are much more powerful than a person's willpower normally. If you are justifying taking these substances with the excuse that it is only so often, that is the discarnate attached to your field talking, not you. The seventh symptom is you're not sensitive to energy and you have little or no higher senses abilities. Energetic blockages in the third eye chakra affect this. Occupants in the seven embodied chakras also affect this, and the flowing of your natural energetic circulatory system. The truth is, everyone has access to the seven higher senses, and the more clear you are, the more sensitive you'll be. What are called psychic abilities are something you're born with, but if you're full of auric attachments and energetic baggage from many past traumatic and stressful, you will not be able to access these until you peel the onion and get clear. The problem is you're overweight and you tend to overeat. Identities and id complexes of lack and limitation cause this. If you find yourself unable to control yourself when you sit down to eat, then these are discarnates in your field. If you're an emotional eater, this signals you that you have an energetic blockage that requires to be cleared as well, usually in the second chakra. If you cannot stay on a program because you do not have the discipline to follow it, then this also signals you require an auric clearing. The ninth symptom is you feel your energy go down around other people. This signals that you have an open portal and you're taking on their discordant energies and their stuff, which is not good at all for your health and your field integrity. You may also have energetic cords attached to this person where they're sucking your energy like an energetic vampire. And if you're a compassionate person, you will attract victims into your field who desire to suck your energy but that really don't want to change. And these victims may be from your own family, they could be your spouse, friend, your ex-spouse, even if you break up with someone, there's still an energetic attachment there that requires to be cleared. So in order to protect yourself, after the auric clearing, you're required to set up a protective shield so that no matter who you're around or what environment you're in, nothing can get into your field, as your frequency will be too high to allow that to occur. And the 10th symptom is you have little or no motivation for life, and you often wish that you were not here. This is a definite signal that you have one or more discarnates in your field giving you this thought. The truth is, you were born here now because you have an important mission. Right now we're in the middle of an ascension cycle. So most everyone that's incarnated right now is here to assist with that cycle, to raise the frequency of the planet by their frequency alone. Any thought that you don't belong here or that you need to leave is a distraction to keep you from performing your mission, which is to raise the frequency of yourself and thus the planet for ascension. People care so much about their physical health and physical cleanliness. They're often oblivious to their energetic health, and that is where all the health and vitality originates from. So let's get clear. After an auric clearing, when you are clear, you're going to make decisions in line with your soul's purpose, your soul's mission, and your higher self. You're going to increase your energy by at least 100% when you clear all of this energetic baggage. You're going to be able to receive information and intuition from your higher self more clearly. You're going to be able to focus and concentrate without mental distractions, inner conflict, and voices in your head. And your overall health will improve, as all physical symptoms and dis-ease originate from auric energetic blockages in your subtle body anatomy. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Cancun time, I'll be giving a webinar titled Experience the Power of Auric Clearing. In this webinar, I will clear all occupants, discarnates, portals, wormholes, thought forms, cords, etc. from your field, and you will feel this as it is happening. After the clearing is complete, I will have your higher self download new soul programming to replace all past debilitating traumas and beliefs with new higher consciousness from your soul, oversoul, Christos avatar self, and Rishi identities, the identities that make up your higher self. To register for this powerful auric clearing webinar, you can log into the online scheduler at dnaperfection.com, or you can click the link here. Once logged in, go to the online store tab and then go to services, classes, auric clearing webinar. Once you successfully order your session, you'll receive an email with the confirmation, and you'll be sent a separate email with the login instructions for the webinar on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Cancun time. The investment to be clear of all auric attachments and free of all these things permanently is only $212. Let's all become as clear as possible so that we can embody our true essence as unconditionally loving beings and do what we came here to do with certainty, integrity, higher values, and love. Omni love and omni gratitude to you all. And namaste. Namaste, everyone. Please let me know you can hear me by typing a Y on the text chat. Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining tonight. This is the Global DNA Activation live webinar. And this is the exact presentation that I used last Friday at the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun, where we had about 50 people who traveled all over the world to join us. And it was extremely powerful. The whole activation, the level of consciousness of the people that gathered from all over the world, and then the next day trip to Chichen Itza was amazing. So for those of you who couldn't travel, I appreciate you joining me now, because you're going to get the exact same activations and information, and a lot of this you've probably never heard before. For those of you who I haven't spoken to in a while, I'm really excited to have you back in a webinar. And for those of you who are certified practitioners, this information will strengthen your practice. Plus, we have 4 new codes that we'll be activating, and those codes have never been shown before. So if you can still hear me, just type a Y on the text chat. All right. So let's get started. This is the first code we're going to be activating, and it will show up on your screen in a moment. It's called the God Command Code Bioregenesis Activation. So if you were to connect to your higher self and ask your higher self what your DNA template looks like, it would look something like this. So everyone, please just focus on the center of this code and inhale the code into your third eye. Have your left hand with the palm facing down and the fingers pointing away from you, very relaxed and not touching anything. And just imagine the code in each of your 15 chakras at the same time. It is commanded by the laws of the golden liquid realms and alchemical powers that the God Command Bioregenesis Code of Ah is activated for each person here in their 15 chakras, 4 brain centers, pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, and medulla oblongata, and DNA template, activating their DNA to its highest energetic holding potential and reordering all reverse 5-letter sequences back to their original organic imprint for health now. Ta Asian Tadoi. Feel what happens in your left hand. So you can feel the energy moving into your palm right now. And now you can feel it going underneath your wrist. Is everyone feeling that? Perfect. This is an extremely powerful code and very beautiful. So, before we go into the rest of the activations, I'd just like to take a moment to tell you about our outcome for the webinar. You know, our mission is to activate the 144,000 indigos this year, this coming year for 2012. As many of you are aware, we're in an ascension cycle, and that ascension cycle ends on December 21st, 2012. There are a lot of people out there talking about 2012, publishing books, you know, all of this information about how important it is, yet not very many people are actually taking action on what needs to be done. You know, there's a lot of prophecies out there, and some people are actually, you know, getting fearful about it. But if you think about what's required, what is required is to make an energetic shift. And the only way that you can do that is through DNA activation, by clearing yourself of all lower vibrating energetic blockages and activating the DNA strands so that you can embody your higher self, and the indigos can embody their full frequency as the pillars of the earth. And when we reach critical mass, all of that frequency activates all the other people and the grids so that we all ascend together. And so there are specific protocols and specific codes that have been given to the people in charge of this, like myself, and you know, other people have different missions. But my mission is DNA activation. That is extremely clear, because only people that have that mission get the protocol and are given the assignments. It's like Babaji told me one time. He says, I need you to do a manifestation for Tara. I said, you need me to do a manifestation for Tara? He said, yeah. He says, I don't have access to it. I said, why not? He says, because it's not my job. It's your job. So, you know, different people have different missions, and you will know what your mission is when you activate the DNA corresponding to your higher self. And then you download that information. So we are taking massive action. You know, I've done over 1 million DNA activations in the last 10 years, and I am constantly clearing. Wherever I go, I'm clearing things. And that's the mindset you require to have this next year. You know, if you go into a concert, you know, there's an opportunity for clearing right there. If you go to the mall, there's an opportunity for clearing. If you're in the airport, there's an opportunity. So you can do group Auric clearings for these areas, which not only affect the people, but they affect the grids underneath. And that's what's most important, is activating the grids. So we're taking massive action. We're monitoring what we're getting by what we're seeing in reality, in the holographic reality. You know, we can shift things that are going on, you know, across the planet, different conflicts. We can focus on clearing the source of that. So we clear the holodynes, the collective holodynes that are manifesting the discordant wars and situations. And that's, part of the training that I learned with Babaji is, he would tell me, I'm working on China right now, China and Tibet. And I said, how are you doing that? He says, I'm working on the collective holodynes. Once I clear the holodynes, then the reality shifts. So we have collective holodynes on the planet of victimization. We have collective holodynes of poverty consciousness, of religious indoctrination and beliefs. And those big three holodynes right there are keeping humanity at a very low hum. So Steve, a holodyne would be like a big occupant, but for humanity. So it's like a collective imprint. And we have specific codes to clear those. So we can actually, as a group, we can be part of the Earth Ascension team, and we can start focusing on clearing things on a planetary basis. Because everything that's happening on the Earth is a reflection of what's happening in the upper realms. So for example, if there's a war going on in Iraq, why do you think that is? Exactly. We're going to talk about that, which, there's battles going on for the Earth. And there's actually, stargates in Iran and Iraq. So there's always conflict over there. And it's not just because of oil, it's because of the stargates. And so as a group, we can focus on, putting those interferences in pale silver reflector orbs by, clearing the source of the conflict, all kinds of things we can do. And the people in this webinar, some of you live over there. So, it's no coincidence that you're here getting the activations, so then you can then direct that energy into the grids to heal the reverse sequences so the energy runs clockwise in the way it should run. Now the objectives tonight, the first one is to clear the highest priority implants, energy blockages, DNA reverse fire letter sequences, and activate your DNA to its highest energy holding potential in line with your higher self. I'm also going to give you specific knowledge that will help you to master your own energy and help your loved ones do the same. And we'll also expose some of the greatest myths on the planet and clear the effect of these from your mind, your DNA, your auric field, and your soul memory. So what is DNA activation? Well, the first thing we should know is the definition of DNA. So here's the definition that I often use. We have the two-strand chemical DNA that we can look at under a microscope. But what we're actually speaking about is the energetic DNA that exists in the morphogenetic field behind the physical body. So every human being has a form-holding blueprint or morphogenetic field. So DNA are the observable portions and chemical translations of scalar wave programs that exist in this morphogenetic field. And a scalar wave program